Welcome back to What's Trending, and hope you had a good weekend. The former governor of Anambra State, Peter Obi, on a recent interview had come out to debunk rumors of him working for the Abacha administration. He also spoke on his candidacy for the 2027 presidential election, where he confirmed he would be running for the presidential seat of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Let's take a look.
How do you clarify this reputation that you worked for the Abacha government or in the Abacha government?
So I've never worked for government before I became governor. I can tell you that.
Did you do anything special?
So let me clarify for you. I've never worked for any government before. So I was a very successful businessman. And everybody knows that. I was a very successful businessman. I built my business from scratch to something of a routine. As a businessman, I'm also part of those who were controlling trade in Lagos then. There was a time during Abacha's government, even what happened during Obasanjo's government, there was a time during Abacha's government, because you know when Abacha took over, they said all ports, seaports and everything closed. So they came out with a policy that caused congestion in our ports, even the airports. Goods were not being cleared, goods were not being exported and everything. And some of us felt, no, we need to go and see the head of state then, or at least the commissioner for Minister of Finance, who was I think it was Ani. So we came to Abuja, about 50 of us. We had an audience with the Minister of Finance and the President and the Head of State then. And we were able to elucidate the problem we're facing. The President then directed the Finance Minister that he should take some of us who are the leaders, should just form a committee to decongest all the ports in Nigeria. And there were about 10 or 20 ports. Make sure that in each committee, one of us is involved. That's the only thing I had to do with the port. And then when we finished, which lasted maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they said, it is now time to probe and reorganize the port, because I had written in one of my comments that Nigerian Port Authority is the only port I know in the world that have an office outside its country of operation. And coupled that they've seen whether they said, you become a member of the panel. He said, if anything, I was a member that tried to reorganize and sack people. Saying he has nothing to do with working government. I've never met Abacha, I don't know him, I'm not in the military. Saying everything I've done in my life is in the public space. This company where they say, oh, you cannot be in two companies at the same time. But I have indicated my intention. I want to go into this. That is not.
Well, you don't see it as anti-party.
No. There's not an anti-party.
No, because I don't think Labour Party has agreed to
remember, we said for 2027. Say we're not in 2020, we're in 2025. It's clear. We've adopted this for 2027. So if I say I'm going to this, that doesn't say, oh, well, listen, I want to be I want to be able to be part of your dinner in the evening. That doesn't mean I should abandon my breakfast and lunch because I intended to come and eat your dinner. No, we're going there.
So
we're going to go together. We are not abandoning where we are. At some stage, when that happens, you know.
So you are thinking of being a running mate to Atiku. Is that the case right now? That's your intention?
Again, Shehu, this is not in play. Nobody have ever discussed that.
You know why I'm asking?
People assume so many things. Nobody have ever discussed with me whether I'm going to be A or B or C. Shehu, I'm going to contest for the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I believe I'm qualified for it.
You know the reason why I'm asking this? The coalition has been touted as Atiku-led coalition. And there are those who think that organization of coming together, that marriage is for an Atiku platform to run.
People just assume anything in this country. And I don't believe in assumption. I don't live with it. I'm part of a coalition which will be able to produce a competent president with the capacity, compassion to save this country.
And you look at the assemblage in that room. Some have described them as geriatrics who are old and done politically, who have been former this, former that. What? And this is Peter Obi, and your reputation, you know what your reputation is with the Nigerian people. There are those who think that Peter Obi stands for a ray of hope, a beacon of hope for a lot of young Nigerians. And your association with some of those who have been described as spent, former this, former that. You don't think that there's a problem, that a contradiction?
So, when a leader comes into the scene, you lead everybody. Your job is to change. You change the old, you change the young. You don't just say, oh, my job as a leader is to change those who are not even, and if you look at it, it's about everywhere in the world. Those who brought out change everybody. Even for those of us, I'm sure it's in Islam, it's within the Quran, it's in the Bible, that those who are actually like Paul, who was previously sold in a battle. I think it was December 18th. On the 19th, the president of Nigeria flew from Abuja to Lagos for Christmas holidays. Saying, I will not do it. I'll go to Ibadan. I will go and look for their parents and cry with them.
The president
I will show them.
If the president went to Benue.
No, one minute. Well, there was no compassion in that. People lost their children. People lost their children that will lead this country tomorrow. He didn't do that. He went for a Christmas holiday.
So, you are thinking of being a running mate to Atiku. Is that the case right now? That's your intention?
Again, Shehu, this is not in play. Nobody have ever discussed that.
You know what I'm asking?
People assume so many things. Nobody have ever discussed with me whether I'm going to be A or B or C. Shehu, I'm going to contest for the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I believe I'm qualified for it.
You know the reason why I'm asking this? The coalition has been touted as Atiku-led coalition. And there are those who think that organization of coming together, that marriage is for an Atiku platform to run.
People just assume anything in this country. And I don't believe in assumption. I don't live with it. I'm part of a coalition which will be able to produce a competent president with the capacity, compassion to save this country.
How long can it take you, for example, to fix Nigerian power situation? You went to Egypt.
Thank you.
Let me learn from them.
That's it. It took Egypt 5 years. We're not going to fix overnight. But remember what I said. Nobody expects 100% success. They want 100% effort. If development and what you do, governance, must be measurable. So if we decide, okay, we are now at 4,000. So we can decide, I'm only going to do 8,000. But annually, there must be improvements.
How would you do it? How would you fix power?
It's not rocket science. Egypt, I'm not saying now, the 3 countries that improved power in the recent time, unless one did it yesterday, as at the time I went to Egypt, we are 3 countries in the world. India, Vietnam, and Egypt. And those are developing countries. So, governance is about learning from best practices. It is not rocket science.
So what do you feel? Have you identified why I'm over 40 and I've not, in my lifetime since I was born, I've not experienced constant electricity, and my children were born into a similar situation? The question is, have you identified what the problem is?
Yes, the problem is in failure of leadership.
That's the problem of electricity.
Everything. If you have a determined leader, he will learn, he will ensure implements it vigorously. Like the president announced that he's happy that the opposition is in crisis. I will go there and solve.